So our next panel discussion is based on another market sector, that is residential and commercial, one of the themes for CTD 2024. This panel discussion has been sponsored by 5D VDC. The 5D VDC is a leading digital transformation company in the construction industry. They specialize in providing virtual design and construction services that enable owners and general contractors to improve their traditional business workflows. Throughout the project lifecycle, design, plan, build, and operate. Thank you 5D VDC for supporting us. Do visit their Tech Expo booth outside to know more about their services and the solution offerings. Along with Raghu as a panelist, I would now request Saurabh to please join us on stage and welcome our other panelists for this panel discussion. Saurabh is one of the co-founders of vConstruct as well as the CTI Foundation. As part of the vConstruct Leaders Group, Saurabh's efforts are focused towards ensuring vConstruct is a healthy, growing business that provides high-quality support to its customers. Please welcome Saurabh on stage.
Thank you, Mustafa. It's a privilege to be the moderator for the residential and commercial panel discussion today. Today, we have panelists both from the residential and commercial sector, and they're playing a role of owners as well as technology accelerators. So I would like to introduce them and ask them to come on the stage now. So with this, we have Lalit Lahoty. Lalit comes from Sobha Limited, and he's the regional head for the Mumbai region. And he comes with a rich experience in business strategy and entrepreneurship in real estate and construction sector. Welcome, Lalit. We just saw an awesome presentation from Raghu Annaiah in terms of leveraging a technology like AR on a commercial project. So Raghu currently leads the design department for IDC Limited and is responsible for design coordination as well as quality for all the large-scale IDC projects. Welcome, Raghu. Now I would like to call upon Sunil Joshi. Sunil is the co-founder and General Secretary for CDCP India, Confederation of Digital Construction Practitioners. CDCP India is an Indian National Society for BIM and Inclusive Digitalization. Sunil Joshi has over 2 decades of experience in implementing BIM and enabling digital transformation on construction projects. Welcome, Sunil. And finally, we have S J Vijay, founder and chairman of Salom Leap Ventures, enabling the emergence of manufacturing practices in construction and delivering buildings as a product. Welcome, Vijay. As we have them seated, I just wanted to take a minute to talk about the current state in residential and commercial sector. For most of us living in urban centers, residential and commercial construction is the most visible form of construction and is dynamically changing the urban landscape.
Cities, in fact, as far as we are concerned, we are also in multiple countries. And while the regulations play their part, we come under extensive regulations while we are delivering. It's very important that we deliver a standard specs. And as far as we are concerned, because quality has been something at the forefront, we have come with our own methodology, which has been a case study even in Harvard Business School. The way we have designed our systems is a backward integrated model. Now, whatever I'm talking is slightly non-technology, but then I think I will gradually talk about the technology part of it. So how do we deliver and how do we deliver fast is on the basis of what we have designed, a backward integration model where we have done a couple of things which perhaps the industry has not done. Like one of the things is like right from design to delivery, everything is in-house. So if it is an architectural studio or the structural design team or the MEP team, the environment consulting team, we have a huge team of more than 150 people totally in-house. So design, that's the way we have controlled the standardization of the design part. When it comes to delivery at site, we have all the workmen, currently more than 12,000 workmen, all in-house. And when we have people in-house, we are able to control, we are able to train them, which is very important. In India, the set of people we get to work on site, the workmen, it's very difficult to derive quality unless we put a lot of thought into it. We have put our own design centers, we have put our own training centers. There is a very big training center in Jakur nearby, where most of our tradesmen are trained. The third pillar to this is basically quality assurance manual. And there is a technology manual that we have put together, which is currently having 1,456 checkpoints before we deliver a flat. So, because we are primarily into residential flats, and that's the whole basis, these 1,456 checkpoints in the technology manual, and the rigor at which we follow the culture we have set around it is the whole basis by which we have been delivering. Now, because we have put a standard together, we feel that technology is something which can actually sit on it. Unless we have a standard process, there is no technology which works. We have had enough of situations where even systems, ERPs like SAP has failed in corporates where there were no standards. There have been number of new technologies which has come. There are a number of POCs which have been going on, and we have been at the forefront of embracing many new technologies.
Thank you. Thank you, Lalit. So, I think the way I understand it, the in-house team as well as high quality standards is helping you enable that quality is not compromised. Thank you. The quality is not compromised as we build bigger projects faster. So with this, like a following question to you is that, is this something which you've been able to scale across all projects consistently, or are you seeing opportunities there where, on how you could scale up pockets of excellence?
Yes. I think this is working. Yes, the whole purpose of having a standard set of process, because otherwise construction at site is a very broken process. Like there is always a joke, the only thing that follows the schedule is the, I would say, is the time for the lunch. Everything else is a broken process. So unless we have a set of standards and is religiously followed, you cannot derive the same quality.
Thank you. So my next question is for Raghu. So Raghu, we saw an amazing example of how augmented reality is enabling quality control in the field. And I think this also asks for interaction, not just with the folks in the office, but also in the field. So what challenges have you seen in adoption of this technology, and what approach would you take to scale it up across all your ITC projects?
See, when it comes to augmented reality, like I said, it is basically the last mile connectivity when you take your 3D model to the site. So we did find one of the key challenges, questions we asked when we were trying to take this is, are we ready to adopt it? When you look at the technology, the various technologies that are available for the AEC space, some of these are very low-hanging fruits. This was possible for us to take AR to site only because our models were 3D enabled. So we had a 3D model as a foundational technology. Because we had it, hence AR is doable. We wanted to explore the technology to understand whether it can deliver what it promises to deliver in terms of reducing the amount of rework. By reducing rework, it can mean that it can save a lot of time and cost. And it also means the quality of work that we want to be seen at site is done without any demolition of walls and all that. So we find this, it was more of a POC for us, and since we have adopted it, we have validated the technology and kept it aside. Meaning, we want the rest of the projects, the entire workflow, the entire projects, the way we are doing, has to be completely digitized for us to enable large-scale adoption of this AR as a technology in the quality side of the construction. So any new technologies that we try to adopt, we validate it, and if we find that it's not mature enough, we place it on hold and then move on to the next technology. So we do see augmented reality being adopted large scale in organization in the future. So that way.
Thank you. My next question is both for Sunil and as well as Raghu, I think who've been deeply involved in implementing digital tools on construction projects. So what challenges have you seen in implementing digital tools on construction projects? And what approach is it that you've seen being most effective? First with Raghu.
So when we started our journey about 4 or 5 years back, identifying the right partners was one of the key challenges we faced in the digital adoption. The ecosystem in India was not ready. The architects, the consultants were not BIM enabled. There was a certain mismatch on expectations as well as capabilities of the ecosystem. So this was one of this challenge. We overcame this challenge by realizing that the way we can be efficient and the way we want to do projects has to be digitized. Hence, we ended up training our ecosystem. So we identified key architects and consultants, and we worked with them to explain where we want to be 5 years down the line, and hence these are the technology they need to enable themselves with. So I think we overcame the challenge by training our ecosystem and then working with them and collaborating with them.
So I think I'll give a bit of a different perspective, because I've been always an outsider working with a lot of developers and construction firms, looking at closely in terms of the challenges. Honestly speaking, standing at the ground today, if any developer says that he has got the set of drawings and quantities and approval drawings on time, completed, and he has not had any RFIs or errors coming on those drawings. This is the simple expectation that will put aside or probably bring up at least 70 to 80% of our project overrun issues. We have two phases on most of these businesses that we look at. And since my exposure has been to make sure that I'm controlling the process of producing intangible product, which is the digital delivery, what just Raghu touched upon with reference to the challenges of consultants and designers. Now, it's a process of capacity building. It's a process of upskilling them to match up the new requirement. Recently, we released just on the approach side of it, and we mostly deal with a lot of SME construction and design firms to help them implement this, because if you look at the names of general contractors in India, probably you will be able to count in your fingers. If anybody can go beyond 10, that will be like a big number. But if you look at the construction contribution and the amount of value that we are churning out, it's huge. So majority of our industry is accumulated out of SMEs. And over a period of experience of working closely with them, we have developed something called the 4C framework. Very grounded again, which we use as our litmus or probably as a guide whenever we do any digital adoption programs. The first C is with reference to clarity. Every organization is at a different phase of time. And when we deal with them, it's important that you should adopt the technology which is most relevant to you at that point of time with reference to the skills available, priority and budget. So from that perspective, having that clarity is important. And like Raghu said, having the right partner to help you to do that is one of the most important thing. Sometimes we generate a lot of clashes on BIM, we see the models, but those clashes are not necessarily coming out of design issues. Those clashes are coming out because the model is being referred or the VDC process is referring to the drawings. Those are coming from two different sets of design sets that were issued by the architect and consultant, which probably may not have spoken to each other so well. Now here, the need of the technology is having a common data environment or a document control system before I go into a model-based process. So that clarity is important. The second one, which is again very important thing, is with reference to the culture. The culture of the organization, the distance of decision making decides how quickly you can adopt the technology. Sometimes I have seen younger organizations move very fast. The organizations where there are too much of hierarchy, it takes a lot of time. I was working on one project in Delhi where there used to be an old guy at the site, controlling the process, and his job was to look at the drawing and find issues. Suddenly, when a 3-year engineer start basically showing up those issues through the model, he find himself irrelevant and there is an insecurity. Now, only a culture of the organization can help you in terms of accelerating that, kind of rate. The third is cost, because no matter what you speak, what technology you speak, if it is not making a sense of cost and ROI to you, you cannot move forward. And the fourth and the most important one, with reference to adoption, we have different technologies. He showed you examples of AR. We have, VR. We have 3D-based technologies. But ultimately, everything consolidates down to the use of data. And the whole thing is construction industry is one large OEM where we have the most fragmented supply chain, which means that our supply chain is the most fragmented. And today, because of cloud technology, so fourth C is cloud. It is important to know how you are leveraging cloud as a part of your business, whether it is any other technology, but understanding your cloud ecosystem where your data is, that is the most important. So when we lay up the framework around these 4 driving principles, we've started seeing more success on that.
That's a great way to put it, Sunil. The 4 Cs. I think starting with, like you mentioned, clarity. And then the next C that I understand was on culture. And the last C that you mentioned was on cloud. The third one, if you can repeat, cost. Okay, got it. Awesome. So I'm making a pivot here and kind of moving from digital tools to physical products. And with this, I would like to ask a question with Mr. Vijay. Mr. Vijay, we saw the tiny house, which definitely is not a tiny aspiration. And I must say that building as a product is a revolutionary concept. I think we would like to hear from you on why do you feel this approach holds potential for the future?
Thank you. I don't know whether this holds potential for the future. What we believed when we came with this. In 2010, it was technology. By now, we don't even remember the technology. We only look at as the product that we can provide, be it to the developer, be it to the contractor, be it to customers like ITC. What is their need? Can I deliver different types of buildings as a product? So, is it a potential? No. It is actually to meet the need. And why? Where is that need coming from? I think we mentioned it in the morning. Another speaker also mentioned. We all sing glory to ourselves. We are the 5th largest economy, 3rd largest construction market, 30 million houses. US is struggling to announce 3 million houses. We announced 30 million houses. We put aside 2.2 trillion rupees in the first budget to make this. So which essentially means, can we continue, at least hope to continue, to build the buildings the way we have built? So way back in 2009 and 10, when I was part of one of those Government of India committees, the question that was raised was, sir, what is the problem with construction? And I was not a construction guy. I came from banking, and we had some learnings of bringing technology into the banking, etc. We said fundamentally, construction in most of the part of the world is A, manual, B, fragmented. C, sequential. At the foundational level, can I shift the whole damn thing from manual into manufacturing? That was the one question. And when I go manufacturing, can I manufacture like the prefabricated or a 2D precast? If I make one room, I make 10 pieces or 12 pieces, put on a trailer and bring it and join them together to make one room. Should I have to go fragmented manufacturing? Or is there another way of manufacturing? So we said, considering the scale, size, scope, speed this country seems to need, we need to leap forward. So we said, what was the most advanced way of manufacturing buildings, particularly concrete-loving country like ours? How do we do that? So we landed up with this thing which you saw, put on a trailer called three-dimensional monolithic modular precast, which means, in simple terms, at one go, in one shot, you pour the whole room. All the four walls and the slab should be made as one single piece. Yeah. So if we do that, possibly we are manufacturing, we are not fragmenting, it is not one by one sequential. This was, the government of India said, aha, and we will give you the approval. It took 3 years, they approved. Then came a different challenge, Indian market. They said, look, this is all great, but my project size, my project type, and my location are all very, very different. It can be a 10,000 square foot project, it can be a 1 lakh square foot project, it can be residential, it can be institutional, commercial, radar building, which we are manufacturing now. So how do you manufacture all of this? So then we had to go back and modularize the factory. So we modularized the manufacturing facility down to one machine can go and manufacture at the site the buildings 300 square foot a day, 300 square foot of built up area a day. So this is what we have done in summary, just to save time. Buildings as a product, buildings as a product for the developer, buildings as a product as ready to use rooms for the contractor, buildings as ready to use spaces. Just plug the power, water out in, then you are ready to live in. This is what we have brought in. And we do believe, I would just do one arithmetic, 3 crore houses, affordable, on an average 500 square foot a unit. Total time government is saying is 4 years, effectively 1,260 calendar days. In 1,260 calendar days, you have to manufacture or build 1,500 crore square foot, which means you're talking about one country, one scheme needing more than 1 crore square foot every sunrise. That's the size and speed and scale you have. So do you have a choice? You don't have a choice. Do you get construction labor? You won't. Nobody wants to come and work in this harsh environment anymore. The minute you start manufacturing buildings as a product, maybe some of them will come back. Yeah, that's the thought.
Thank you. Vijay, you have a product, and so what changes would we need to make in how we think about procuring, designing, and building residential and commercial structures? Because definitely there are more stakeholders involved when it comes to procuring, designing, and building. So if we have to collectively work towards this kind of an approach, which is more manufacturing based, then what changes would need to be made in procuring, designing, and building?
Thank you. In fact, like all technology enthusiasts, we came into the market expecting everybody will respond to the promised land of delivering this high quality, stronger, better buildings faster. None of that happened. The construction industry said, look here, this is my drawing. If you can manufacture as per this drawing, manufacture, otherwise get out. That was the thing. And then they also said, this is my price. Are you reducing it or not? That was the second thing. So we had to figure out, how do I, kind of customize my mold to deliver the dimension and the form and shape the architect designed? One. Two, as far as the structural engineering piece is concerned, we had a very, very interesting conversation with Raghu. Raghu happens to be enlightened. So he knew the precast codes of the world, so he could do it. But in most of the cases, you need to work with the existing structural engineer. And your system has to agree to work and deliver what they have designed. Over these 10 years, yes, we have made some progress. Today, we do have clients who come to us and say, Vijay, can you design for manufacturing and assembly of my building so that I can get savings in time and cost, etc., etc. That has happened after about 10, 11 years. But initially, you got to be the slave to the architect, slave to the engineer, slave to the available material, slave to the available crane. You get cracking with that, then things possibly pivot.
Thank you. So being persistent is something which we can learn. So with this, I'm sure, just wanted to know if you have a few minutes to ask questions from the audience. Okay, awesome. So we have a few minutes to get questions from the audience. And so we'll open it up for questions from all of you here. Okay, looks like we have a question from Mustafa.
First time he's getting chance to ask.
It's good to be on the other side of the stage as well. So my question is like Lalit can also take and Vijay sir can also take. Usually we indulge in very often CSR activities. We have a defined budget and we want to explore the residential part where we can kind of donating the ready-to-build houses to the society which can't afford it. But the cost of these houses is so costly that we always have got a pushback on this. So can you suggest some good solutions in terms of CSR aspect of residential and commercial?
When you say CSR 2-3 times, essentially you're meaning how cost effective it can be. That's what your question is. So currently, after 10, 11 years, today, the house that is sitting there on the trailer outside is 1,150 rupees per square foot for the superstructure. That's a 300 square foot, 1-bedroom hall kitchen. If you just take the superstructure alone, not the foundation, not the finishes, it is 1,150, which is roughly about 3,30,000 rupees. 1-bedroom hall kitchen, 3,30,000 rupees, just the walls and the roof with all your conduits. Then comes the question of, if it is a CSR, are you going to go for a teak wood door or are you going to go for a cost-effective door? So that is where you have a room to play. How do you do it? So we do have clients who come and tell us, this is my farmhouse, I have a land, just make a basic one. So it goes according to that specification. And this one which is sitting there has its floor slab and also plinth beams. Yeah? That adds another couple of hundred rupees to the cost of it. Yeah? So this is the number, if you are looking at number. But CSR, no, I was discussing with him last night, dinner. CSR for construction technology or delivering buildings as a product to as many people as possible can be today done because of one amendment Government of India has done. Government of India, for I'm sure most of you know, if you didn't know, Government of India has amended the law to say the corporate CSR funding, which otherwise will be taken away from the profit, now can be invested into technology startups, including the technology startups which are into construction technology, as long as it is delivering. Yeah? So that is another new twist they have brought in. Earlier it was not allowed. So most of the building material companies, building product companies, as well as associated ecosystem companies are now looking at how do I channel the CSR money to put into the construction technology or related ones, so that it actually boosts my business. It is corporate social responsibility, corporate responsibility as well as social. That's how they've gone.
I was not sure about this CSR, and it's good clarity on this CSR amendment you said. But is it that like if that generates a profit, when you invest into some company, it doesn't come into CSR?
The CSR investment you are making,
Yeah.
it can give you an indirect benefit, but not the profit from it coming back, because then it is not CSR.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
We can take one more question. Okay, we have a raise of hand there first, and then we can, sorry, that gentleman.
Sir, I just had a question around the manufacturing mold itself that you talked about. How are you sort of allowing flexibility according to the expression of the architect and the building? Because once you manufacture a mold, how do you make it scalable and unit economic positive to work for a variety of building designs?
Where's most? It's going to take a minute. If you say yes, I'll continue. Okay, so all of you are welcome to come in Bangalore. Currently, we are manufacturing the Air Force Officers Institute in Jalahalli. You're welcome to come and take a look at the mold or the machine which manufactures and the modules manufactured and how they are being erected into building. That is in Jalahalli. Another one we are manufacturing is in for Bangalore International Airport. 2 radar buildings are being manufactured. You can come to any of the places. When you come to the site, you would realize the mold is room-sized mold. It has 4 outer doors, 4 inner doors. The gap in between this is where the concrete falls, and that is what creates the room. Is that clear?
Yes.
So now the flexibility, one by one. I don't want a 7-meter long room. I want 2 rooms of 3 meter long. So in the machine, you have a provision. You insert a block which splits this into 2 rooms, and concrete doesn't go into one side. So lengthwise, you can adjust this block wherever you want as per the drawing. So we talked about length. Thickness, the gap between the outer and the inner door is adjustable. In the same room, you may want this wall to be 160, this wall to be 90. Today's costing. Tomorrow it might flip. So these are adjustable spaces. So wall thickness adjustable. 3, you may have in this room which you are manufacturing today, window is here. Tomorrow it shifts here. So the window is nothing but a formwork which has been attached magnetically to this shutter. After you do the pouring and you have taken out the room from there, you remove this shutter, put on this side. So the flexibility of openings wherever you want is a question of pulling out whatever is the formwork which creates the void, move it. In terms of height, you have a mechanism. The mold is built to deliver 3.125, 3.5 meter walls. You don't want that. You can raise the base and reduce the height of it. Height adjustable, length adjustable, wall thickness adjustable, openings flexible without changing anything in the mold. Yeah, this is how, when you come there, you would possibly, the verbally explaining it will convey to some extent, but if you are welcome, when you come there,
For sure, for
you
sure.
will, you will see it in action.
For sure. Thank you, sir.
Okay. I think we can take that question offline if that is okay. I think we're running short on time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
My question to Mr. Vijay, this concrete we are pouring from top, so it's a self-compacting concrete, and are you planning to go for any color concrete also, so the painting can be avoided? So pigmented concrete, so for external walls, so that we can skip the painting also.
Sir, quickly, yes, we have a strategic alliance with Ultratech for anything to do with concrete. And we have a strategic alliance with Tata Steel and a couple of other steel people. So we do use self-compacting concrete, and we discharge it from a bucket so that it goes rapidly with force, one. Your second question was? Color concrete. Yes, Ultratech does have some concrete design mixes which are pigmented. They've used it in one building, which is a temple building, the saffron color, but we haven't used it. Internationally, we do use pigmented concrete, sir.
Thank you. So thank you for an enriching panel discussion. Today we heard why there is a need for us to build faster, smarter, and better by the use of technology in the residential and commercial sector. We saw the potential certain digital technologies hold, like BIM and AR, and building manufacturing technologies like building as a product that can be deployed as prefabricated structures shipped to site or as modularized mobile and micro factories on site. Looking forward to seeing these technologies shape the way we build residential and commercial sector. Thank you.
Thank you so much, all our respected panelists.